Ever wonder about how our beautiful world has turned into what scientists call as a madness? So the answer is simply climate crisis. So what do we know about climate crisis and how is climate crisis becoming one of the most trending news over the last few decades? Actually, the climate crisis has been on the news in terms of a few decades prior. Also, a lot of movement have been made by the society asking the politician to do their job and solving this problem, especially in the climate crisis and environmental degradation. And as we know that the solution has been there, but there are no specific action has been made by the higher authorities regarding of what we call as the problem. So what does actually causes this climate crisis and how is this linked or related to the environmental degradation that we are facing today? So here I've been collected a few data regarding of the environmental degradation and climate crisis and what causes this climate crisis. So number one things that we know as per second we live today, more than 10,000 climate warming gases has been emitted to the sky. And as we know, 99% of them is carbon dioxide. This is no something that is unique or rare. That we know that carbon dioxide is the main crucial factors of why climate crisis is on the news every single day. So this carbon dioxide is often associated with the gases from the factory or transportation activity or probably the farm industry. A lot of industrial things use carbon dioxide and they emit the gas to the sky. We talk about the 99%, but what about these 1%? So this 1% is gas called as methane. This methane is quite unique because there's only 1% and we might only think that this is not important. What we need to do is to reduce the amount of 99% of the carbon dioxide in the sky. Yeah, it might make sense and we might also think about that way. But this 1% of methane that which we produce from the fossil fuels and also managing waste, this 1% of methane may cause the same result or maybe severe worse result in the several years than the 99% of what we call as the carbon dioxide. So the damage is entirely the same, but this is only 1% of the methane. But luckily for us, however, methane is a recent problem that has found by the scientists. So this methane doesn't linger around in the Earth atmosphere like the carbon dioxide, which gradually increases. This methane only lasts in the atmosphere for a few years. So this is basically more easier to be solved. We see methane also come from the latest emission problem. So this means that if we reduce the level of methane usage in the world, like what we have done, switching from the fossil fuel gases into what we call as the electric vehicles transmission. This is the one of the best way to avoid to probably get out from the climate crisis industry, and we might have significantly reduces the number of the climate crisis if we reduce the number of methane in the sky. So this is basically the most easiest way to solve this problem. So the question is, as a young person, so as a youth like us, what are we going to do? How to solve this problem? As a youth, what do we need to do to solve the problem is simply to be active, to be vocal in the discussion, through the government. There's a lot of forum that we are told that we should be active on the discussion. We've been talking about saving the energy by probably turning off the lights when it's not used, This all of this is the solution, but how effective of that solution that have been presented or that has been spread among us? For me, this is not really significant because this is talking about the habit, and habit is different one from another. As we know today, we need a specific regulation to regulate all of this policy regarding the climate crisis, and we need all the government, we need all participation of people who want to reduce this climate crisis. And what do we need to do as a young people is that we have the internet. We conquer all the social media around the world, right? We conquer the Instagram, conquer TikTok, we conquer everything, Facebook, Marketplace, whatever you want to call. But this is a proof that youth have the capacity of shaping into what world will become in the next day. Because if we're demanding about government making a solution, the solution has been made. The solution is there by switching and maybe non-eco-friendly materials, non-eco-friendly industry into eco-friendly industry. And it has been discussed, and there's a lot of research journal paper on a specific topic that regulate this problem. So for me, it is better if you it's good if you have the dream of making a eco-friendly business. But for us, this is not, for a lot of youth people doesn't interested in that, and not all of people want to be an entrepreneur. So what do we need to do if we're not the same field as the others? This is something that is considerably trivial and might be quite tricky. We see that the government listen to its people, and if we do make a lot of movement regarding the climate crisis, probably the government might have listened to us, and we ask the people who is in charge in climate crisis to explain to them, and probably they will do what we ask to them. So as a youth people, the best thing is to be vocal in the problem. But being vocal doesn't mean that we have to downgrade our government. This is not the exact amount that we talk about that we should degrading the government. That's no. Being active in discussion means that we propose something to the government to handle this problem. I have one proposed solution, is that to educate people from 5 years from the elementary school to understand about the climate crisis what's happening in the world, and make them aware that the world is going to be ended if we didn't take our chance, if we didn't take our step now. So this is a thing that is very serious to be talked about, and I hope from this video we can learn that in the world everything has been or might be ended if we didn't take an action. So we know that there's a clock that set the timer. This clock set the timer about the apocalypse caused by human. So we only need to look at that. We don't need to make a self-reflection about what it is to be doing. Well, what happened if the clock hit zero and we didn't do anything else? All of the signs that stated environment degradation is really playing a pivotal role in haunting people today. So that's it for me. If we want to reduce the level of methane and carbon dioxide, educate to take the action to take in charge of the regulation. Thank you.